Alright my friends, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I wanted to do like an interesting video just before the 50 series launches, before I get my hands on one of those and can see what DLSS 4 and ray reconstruction is going to look like. So right now, this is a recording that I did on a 4080 Super. This was on the settings on this were like max settings. It was 4080 Super at 3440, 1440p LG ultra-wide monitor. Okay, so this was one that I did back. I can't guarantee what exact settings I had, but I think it was, back then I was doing everything maxed out. Settings were fully maxed out, everything. So it was fully maxed out, had ray reconstruction, had DLSS quality, and had obviously NVIDIA frame generation. So that was what I was looking at. This is just a freeze frame of this right now, because I've got on the other screen pulled up. Let me show you that. So on my other screen, this here is on my 7900 XTX, and this is on the widescreen LG monitor, same monitor. And so I've just been sitting here kind of looking back and forth at like the different, at how it looks over here on the NVIDIA side versus how it's looking over here on the AMD side. So this here, like the AMD side, guys, let me just show you what I've had to do just to try to get a fairly smooth experience. So we're FSR4 in the performance mode, frame generation enabled, all the path tracing, all of that stuff. Crowd density is at medium. I turned off film grain and chromatic aberration just like I do over there. And then everything's basically like at medium, or some things are on low. I just, kind of was playing around with the settings to try to see if I can squeeze out every ounce of performance out of this. And that got me to about 150 frames. AMD's fluid motion frames is enabled on top of the other one. So essentially, guys, like when I'm looking at like the reflections and stuff, those look really, really similar. The overall image quality actually looks fairly decent. I can get like a pretty smooth, like if I pan the camera smooth like this, like it looks fabulous. So if I'm walking around, straight line, no issues at all. But the moment you jerk that camera, boom, it shows you the breakdown of FSR, how it just like, how it takes a second to like get right back to being stable. And this is in performance mode. So it's really, really unstable as you turn the camera fast. And then right when you stop the camera, you'll see it still kind of fizzled a little bit, but then boom, it sharpens right back up. So that there's like the one big downfall. I got a recording that I'm going to put out. It's like 20 minutes long of like running around looking at this stuff, playing around with settings and trying to get it to a point where it's like, okay, is this even playable? I hear a lot of people always talking about like, oh man, I couldn't play it like that. And honestly, if you bought this GPU, I mean, obviously it's the end of the generation, but all games with DL or FSR3 3.1 are going to be converted to FSR4. So I don't know if this one here is going to convert, just due to the fact that I don't think CD Projekt Red actually updated it properly in a way to possibly prevent that. And if they did that, then we're still looking at like however it works out. But technically, if FSR4 does come to these GPUs, the 7000 series GPUs, this is going to be a lot better looking in performance mode with AI machine learning upscaling. Probably more in line with what you got on the 40 series prior to DLSS 4 launching. So if that happens, that essentially brings this, like, look at this. We're at 150 frames, guys. We're at 150 frames playing this. And if machine learning actually does come to the 7000 series GPUs, that essentially puts you on par with what you were getting. I think that'll literally put you on par potentially, or pretty close to what 5080 does. Or I mean, easily what 4080. I mean, like, obviously, yeah, with what a 5080 is going to be capable of in this game with performance. Now, obviously, the 50 series is going to look better with DLSS4 ray reconstruction. I've seen some stuff from, you know, both. I've seen some stuff now that's got me convinced that it is definitely going to be an improvement. But so is this. This is going to be an improvement. Yeah, like, I'm actually pretty stoked about this now, because right now, like, this does not look horrible. Like, when you're moving the camera, obviously you see everything snap back into place. You see all the lights up there, up on the balconies up here. You see like it just kind of fizzle apart or whatever. But once it comes back to normal, it actually looks good. When you're running in motion, just in a straight line, this feels so smooth, it's unbelievable. And the freaking, I mean, look at the frame gen lag, 6 milliseconds. I think if AMD can pull off bringing FSR4 to the 7000 series GPUs, I mean, look at this. We're at like 200 freaking frames a second, my friends. We're pushing over 200. And then they're dropping down into the 130s, 129, 143. I think AMD could actually pull this off and not be significantly far behind. I think that the hardest thing was for them was creating the AI algorithms and stuff for, and see, is what they're trying to do. It all kind of makes sense now, because everything with FSR, everything they've been doing, every step of the way, has been to bring a lot of stuff forward. And if AMD can pull that off, man, that's going to add a lot more value to the 7000 series, especially a GPU like the 7900 XTX. I don't know if I'd count this GPU out completely just yet, because this thing is absolutely incredible. Like, the stuff that you can do on this has been mind-blowing. And obviously the world is going in a more machine learning type of way. But yeah, I look at this on performance mode, guys, and I'm like, okay, like, I could literally play this. I technically can. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, it's obviously showing its age for sure. Like, it definitely is not being able to upscale as good as what DLSS does. And that, I mean, that's fine, dude. Like, we've got an algorithm base. But now watch this. If you come over here and you look out across the scene, all the little people that are walking out there and stuff, those on NVIDIA would start to like leave these nasty little trails when I was comparing it to like the other, like the 4080 Super when I had it. Like, they would start leaving like the little ghosting trails out there. The DLSS 3 would strip out like some of the overall quality of the visuals and stuff. And you don't argue with me. Alex Battaglia, the expert, already said so. So, but it would strip out some detail and stuff that doesn't get stripped out on the AMD side when you're utilizing this technology. Like, it's still there. Like, you get like nice and close to stuff and you can still see like the detail. Like, the detail looks pretty dang good. Whereas on the NVIDIA side, like, you would definitely lose a lot of that stuff, and it would just kind of smudge or, blur together or something, and it just didn't look super awesome. At least in my eyes. But like, when I'm looking at this, even on like performance, I'm like, wow, that actually still looks pretty dang sharp, pretty dang clean. But obviously, you're getting, like, I don't know, man. I think FSR resolves pretty decently when you're not in motion. I think the resolve is actually pretty good. I think, what the heck is those? Are those just supposed to be like lights? Never even, but like when you're walking around and you're looking at stuff, look at that, it's all busted. That looks kind of cool. But like when you're in a straight motion and stuff, I don't know, guys, if that actually works out, if AMD is able to absolutely bring FSR 4 to 7000 series cards, that is going to give this a tremendous upgrade in overall visual quality that, oh, that's going to be pretty impressive. That's going to be pretty impressive, my friends, because being able to run this at like 140, 150 frames and like the controls and everything feel smooth. The only thing that's wonky is the gosh dang upscaling. And from what I'm seeing, you know, from what we saw at CES, from Alex Battaglia, from Hardware Unboxed about the capabilities of FSR4 in a performance mode. I was like, dang. Had to get in a little bit of a fight there. If I would have ran past them, I think we would have gotten a bigger fight. But yeah, guys, from what we were seeing, that is going to be pretty damn impressive, my friends. We're going to see AMD kind of like bumped up significantly with FSR4 to a point where it's like, look, man, if AMD can still come in budget-wise and still deliver solid rasterized power and all of that stuff on a 9070 XT, with FSR4 being machine learning and being at least as good as DLSS 3, if it's as good, at least as good as DLSS 3, and it comes in at a budget with way more power, like say you got the 5070. 5070 comes in slightly better than 4070. You know, maybe 4070 Super a little bit better than 4070 Super, but then you got 9070 XT that comes in and it's like on par with 90 or 7900 XT with significantly better AI upscaling and obviously better ray tracing support, more in line with 4070 Ti Super or something like that, dude. I think, and if that card's like $550, same price as a 5070, oh man, that is going to be a very tough sell for NVIDIA, especially for all of those people that would be buying that level of GPU, because we're talking, you know, 12 gigs of VRAM on a 4070. We're talking freaking, you know, like 1080p entry level 1440p GPU, the way things are looking. And then you couple that with a 9070 XT at that same price point, $550, and that is more of an entry level 4K GPU because, you know, obviously you got the 16 gigs of VRAM that there's definitely going to perform significantly better on a 4K display. Obviously it'll have its 256-bit bus, whereas the 5070 is going to have that 128-bit bus or whatever. Is it 128-bit bus on that, or is it 192? 192-bit bus. So you're going to have a 192-bit bus. So you'll be able to do some stuff on 4K on that card, no problem, but you're definitely going to have a better experience on a 9070 XT, having 7900 XT power with that, better ray tracing performance, the ability to enable AMD's fluid motion frames on top of just regular frame generation. I think you're looking at a pretty decent future for. If we're going by the if we're going from now on, if we're like really taking, you know, all the magic and everything seriously, if we're taking the software gains seriously, AMD has actually not just been standing still, guys. They've really been working on building out a better experience since freaking RDNA came out. I mean, you can use AMD's fluid motion frames on RDNA 2. Obviously, the ray tracing performance isn't that great, but your top-end RDNA 2 cards, they're actually pretty potent too. I don't see why they wouldn't be able to run FSR4. So if they can run that, at least in terms of like PSSR, right, then again, you're getting a better overall image quality. I mean, more stable. That's the biggest thing with FSR is when you turn the camera, it's not stable, but when you stop and you look at it, it's stable. Like this looks okay. Like this looks good. This still looks very, very nice. Like it's still like better than freaking the consoles. That's what I don't get. It's like this is significantly better than the console still, but yeah, like you get a better overall motion clarity on the consoles than this, but like in motion and stuff, like when you're turning the camera, you're not getting that right there because you're not using the frame gen on consoles, but you're definitely getting a more fluid experience over here on the PC side on this GPU. And I think this would trickle down easily over to like 7800 XT. I bet you could get pretty decent performance out of 7800 XT with these same settings. Even with path tracing, guys. Like, look at this fan over here. Like, I can tell that the fan is in motion. Like, you can see the actual fan, and it doesn't look horrible. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I think that FSR definitely gets beat up way too much for what it is, for what it's supposed to do. That's like my thing. It's like, yeah, obviously DLSS is better, but this isn't horrible. This is definitely playable. Like, you can utilize this to play your dang video game and have a good time with it. Like, I have zero issues playing this game like this. It feels fluid. It feels good in motion. Can absolutely deal with combat. So I'm gonna come all the way back around to here to look at the overall reflections and stuff. And yeah, man, that looks right on point with what this looked like. I think they both look good. Let's see if I can get you a little bit wider thing. Like, these actually look good. I mean, like, you're missing, like, look at the DLSS one though. On the little visors over here on the side, it doesn't even have, I mean, on the FSR one, you get like a fighter pilot helmet. There's nothing over there, guys. There's nothing over there. The warning sign over here on this side looks really, really sharp and crisp. The warning sign right there looks more freaking like in motion. It's like kind of fuzzing or blurring a little bit and trailing it. But I don't think anybody would really care. I think that if you had this on your screen right now and you were playing this like this, yes, obviously when you turn the camera, it's going to drive you nuts. But right when it stops moving, everything just sharpens right back up again. But you can still see it for that fraction of a second while it's coming back together. I don't know, guys. I'm actually quite optimistic for FSR4 to be able to come out, and for FSR or RDNA 3 GPUs to get a hold of that. Hopefully they will be able to take advantage of making it work on the FSR3 games too. That would be absolutely incredible if AMD can pull that off. So, all right, my friends, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.